you very much. Hi, everyone, how's it going? Woo! Can everyone see me in the back? Awesome, fantastic. And I'm blocking myself. Wonderful. I'll just scooch right over here. Thank you very much. Cool. Hi everyone, I'm Kovi Rose. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Sydney. And today I'm going to talk to you about everyone's favourite topic, everyone's favourite form of comedy, physics! There you go, you learned very well before. I love it. I love the beauty, the elegance, the simplicity of these numbers, right? So we spent a whole night talking about just this. Yeah, a little bit less serious. Don't worry, I'm just kidding. See, I'm an astrophysicist, okay? That means that... I know, right? I can study stars, galaxies, and I can tell you all about them. You have no idea if I'm making it up or not. See, I could tell you, for example, that there are two types of stars mostly in the universe, right? Giants and dwarfs. Yeah, I see a few people nodding in the back. Fine, sure, we know this. But for the people who don't know, I could just as easily have said that the main two types of stars are wizards and elves. And you just kind of have to go with it, I guess. See, generally the dwarfs that I study are called brown dwarfs because they're red. The reddish, kind of brownish, maroon. I don't get to name these things, it's not on me. In fact, the most common question that I tend to get, especially from my younger nieces and nephews, is, have you found any stars? What are you going to name the stars? And Uncle Kovi, when are you going to space? Well, okay, fine. So some of you might know, astronomers don't generally name their stars. They are named after telescopes that they're found with. This is stuck. They're named after telescopes that they're found with and the coordinates they're found at, right? So this star, found by the WISE telescope at these coordinates. As for the other question, yeah, unless somebody in the audience has a spare $250,000 to send me on whatever Starlink rocket Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk have built recently, that's not happening either anytime soon. Speaking of size, the sizes in space, they're so huge and unfathomable and just kind of out of the realm of what we're used to that people don't really like the numbers that we come up with as scientists, right? One American journalist decided that the best way to measure the sizes of near-Earth asteroids was to use penguins and flamingos. Legit, this is real. Right? Americans will go to any lengths to avoid using the metric system. It's ridiculous. Speaking of things that are ridiculous, astrology! I love
you think that you must be a piece of Pisces.
Oh yeah, there are definitely some people who are thinking, wait, I thought he said he was an astrologer? No, I'm an astronomer. We are very different. And it's kind of annoying that, you know, you go to parties and people say, what do you do? And you mention that you're an astronomer and they start talking to you about their signs and shit. Like, I'm not interested. I'm exactly the wrong target audience. Which is a shame because I feel like I'm fun at parties. I can be a fun guy, right? I know. I should admit, not a Pisces, but I am a Gemini, which means absolutely nothing. At all. Except for maybe the fact that my parents were either very careless or very bored in September of 1991. But let's not go there, shall we? So I use the ASCAP telescope in Western Australia, Australian Square Kilometre Array Pathfinder. Yeah! Radio astronomers in the hoos! I love it. And we use ASCAP to study these ultra-cool dwarf stars, right? This one, in particular, we were working on recently, and I'll give it to you as kind of an example of how irrelevant astrology is to my life as an astronomer. Now, this star was cool as in temperature, but also cool as in, like, vibes. It was doing some really wacky stuff. We really liked it. And for the Americans in the audience who are wondering how cool is cool, that same American journalist decided that the best way to measure the temperature was to use cups of coffee. This is real. I'm not making it up. Yeah. So we were working on this star for months, right? Like over half a year. And we measured the periodicity of the pulses that were coming from it. And we used different telescopes looking at the polarization of the light and all this kind of stuff, right? And last month we published a paper on it, right? Which I'm very proud of. And there are some of the co-authors in the audience here. Right? It's great. I love it. I would have named it something a little bit different if I had had my way. I was told it wasn't allowed. But the point is that after months and months and months working on this, it was only a couple of weeks after the paper was published that I found out this star is located in the unicorn constellation. Did anybody know that there was a unicorn constellation?
Everything's a unicorn if you look at it the right way.
Oh god. I had no idea this was a thing. It's real. I wish I was making it up. It's officially called monoceros. Mono meaning one, and ceros meaning unicorn butts. Or horns, or something like that. I don't know. The point is, God, what's the point? I feel like I'm rambling. The point is, astronomy is real. It's real science, right? It's good. It teaches us things. Astrology, not so much. There's definitely someone in the back thinking, oh my god, that's such a Gemini thing to say. Wild. But what is real, right? What is a star for that matter? How does that work? And what's an ultra cool dwarf? Okay, so a star, right? A star basically forms from this cloud of gas and space being pulled together by gravity until the hydrogen atoms get so, packed up on each other. Now, the more cultured members of the audience might recognize this from Thor, Ragnarok, or Guardians of the Galaxy, or whatever other underwritten and overproduced piece of shit came out of the MCU. They're still going, seriously. Anyway, so these hydrogen atoms, right, they get packed in denser and denser, and they just overstuff into this one area of space. Kind of like when you're shopping and you said there's no way in hell you're paying 25 cents for another Woolies bag. But with hydrogen atoms, right? So they get crammed into this small, small part of space until eventually they collapse under pressure and the hydrogen fuses into helium. That's the birth of a star. And if we're talking about collapse under pressure, it's kind of like in year 9 when Robbie McKinley told me I would look cool if I started smoking cigarettes. Yeah, nothing was making this kid look cool. Not even a little. Anyway, this is how stars live for billions of years, like our sun, right? Gravity pulls things inwards, and there is a force from the nuclear fusion that pushes outwards. Happy balance, everything works. Now, if that makes sense to you, congratulations, you're an astrophysicist. Give yourself a round of applause. Fantastic. Or at least as much of an astrophysicist as those who believe that small metal spheres at the bottom of the ocean are signs of alien life. Yeah, they are, yeah. And for those of you who that reference didn't make any sense, come to me after the show and I'll tell you all about a certain Harvard professor and his tiny balls. The small metal balls that he found in the ocean. I don't want people to think that I'm being disparaging about aliens, right? Because I think a lot of astronomers do think that aliens are a real thing. Statistically, it makes sense. I mean, just think of the Milky Way. Our universe. The thing is that, we're looking for evidence, right? We want serious evidence, not this shit. And the problem is that all of the signs that we have been hearing about of alien life, traditionally, think about what we have been exposed to. As children, we all hear about this story, right, of people getting kidnapped in the middle of the night and anally probed. But the thing is, in our Milky Way galaxy, the galaxy, right, there are over 100 billion stars, and on average, each of them have a planet, right? So that means that when you look at other galaxies, and all the galaxies that are out there, on average, you're talking about hundreds of billions of planets. And we're obnoxious enough to name one woman Miss Universe? Really? I know, it bugs me. It's probably not the most problematic thing about that competition, I'll grant you that. God, too soon. Anyway, I like to think about these things sometimes, not misogynistic, crappy reality TV show, but kind of like the existence of the universe. And if you can get over the sheer existential panic, right, it's really interesting to think about life, what it is, where it is. But I think, and I'll leave you with this one thought, the reason maybe why the aliens haven't been found, why they don't want to be found, is that the only signal that they're getting from us are these unsolicited dick pics we sent them in the 70s. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm Kovi Rose. Have a great night.